Ah, you lose. You lose.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. How's it going? Let's see, maybe this will go out Saturday, maybe this will go out sooner. But today we are going to do questions 31 through 69 of Dots and Loops 101 questions. Well, anyway, question 31, album with bad graphic design. Now, this is one me and some of my friends used to laugh at back in the day. This band is called Foxy, kind of disco funk with a little bit of Latin influence. They had a hit, Get Off. This is one of their later albums that didn't do so well. The album is called Party Boys. So most of the time you see this record, it's filed under P. People think the band is Party Boys, but no, the band is Foxy. The album is Party Boys, and that's why it's bad graphic design. I mean, besides this album cover, that this is... Here's the actual band here, but damn, just look at this album cover. Okay, next question. Record that changed for you over time. And this, I kind of touched on this a little bit with my last video. This is War by U2. And back in the day, back in the 80s, I bought this album. I loved this album. They were still considered new wave kind of underground. This was their big breakthrough album. Saw their concert at a large venue, and yeah, but now, now they're the band that put their album on everybody's phone, whether they want it or not, and pretty much believed their own hype that they were saving the world for too long. But yeah, so my feelings about pulling this record out and listening to it have changed over time. Kurt Cobain ruined it all, 80s fun. That is number 33 question on the list. And, it's really the people who weren't there who glorify some of the crappiest music of the 80s that say that Kurt Cobain ruined it. But if you really read his journals, if you really looked at the songs he chose to cover and the bands he chose to give shout outs to during his life, Kurt was very knowledgeable and literate about some of the best and most important music of the 80s. But here's an 80s record that was ruined for me by some asshole on Reddit. Flock of Seagulls' first album, which is really a collection of singles, because it's got the telecommunication EP that Bill Nelson produced on the first side, and then some of their big hits like I Ran and Space Age Love Song on the second side. Flock of Seagulls will cheer you up, unless you're the guy on the couch in Pulp Fiction. A record that made me high. Legalize it, yeah, yeah. So I will advertise it. I was lucky enough to find, I bought a bunch of records from somebody a long time ago. This appears to be an original Jamaican Peter Tosh, Legalize It. I had it on CD also, which I gave away after I got this, which was kind of a mistake because the original is a different mix. But anyway, people are finally catching up. It's legal in some states, you know. It's always legal when it's in the mental state, but yeah. Surprising dance record. All right, this is Inside Outs. This is question 35. Insides Out by Bohannon. What is surprising about this record? What is surprising about this record is how impossible it is to not stomp one's foot when the song Foot Stompin' Music is on. Maddening record. They're coming to take me away, haha, Napoleon 14th. Rest in peace. Jerry Samuels, I think the guy's name is. This guy just passed away recently, but this is a maddening record. They're coming to take me away, haha. This is the reissue on Rhino. Pretty true to the original. And yeah, there's other hilarious songs about having mental problems on this record. The 45 has the same song backwards on the flip side, which this does not have, but it ends with I'm Happy They Took You Away, haha, by Josephine. A scary record, a record that scared you, intentional or not. Okay, and this is a record that way back in the day, somebody actually gave me this record because they were scared by it. This is We Died Because You Did Not Let Us Live in Peace by the Survivors. And it's kind of a dark, I guess they would say industrial then, but a dark experimental noise record inspired by the tragic events of Jonestown. And it's scary. It's literally, you put it on in the dark and listen to it, and it's fucking scary. That's question number 38. Short record, Napalm Death Peel Sessions. That's pretty short. I mean, you know, the songs go by in the time it takes to read the titles. And these little short tracks are cut deep into these grooves, so it will rattle your reality. Mixed race record. Well, this is one of my all-time favorite bands, so I'm going to have to just represent Love. This is Love Revisited, which is a compilation, kind of best of their work on Elektra, first album through fourth album, including several tracks from the masterpiece Forever Changes. In case you don't know, psychedelic rock band out of LA. The frontman and main songwriter Arthur Lee and lead guitarist Johnny Eccles of African American culture, and the other three Caucasian, made some of the greatest music of the 60s. Question 40, most eclectic record. Well, this is Monsters, which is one of those mail order Lost Leader Warner Brothers compilations. Really neat artwork, but in the distant past, I tried to sell this record to a used record shop. And the guy at the counter got on my case about how this record is too diverse to appeal to anybody. As if it was my fault. As if it was my fault and I put this record out. But no, this is a compilation of new releases for Warner Brothers about 1979. And it kind of runs, it's got the Doobie Brothers, George Benson, and then it's also got George Harrison, Bob Marley, Gary Wright. It's got Van Halen, Dance the Night Away, You know, kicking off a side of the rest of it's kind of disco. It's got Gino Socio, Alice Cooper from the inside. But yeah, this record has really got a little bit of everything. And people were really snobby in their musical tastes. So yeah, I could see back then that you know, this might be one of the ones that Dr. Demento put together. And maybe he overestimated the open-mindedness of the audience. Or maybe just the times were changing and Warner Brothers was not keeping up. Record with no guitar. Soft Machine 7. And as Soft Machine progressed, the lineup was always changing. That's not Dee Dee Ramone, but Mike Ratledge, the keyboardist, was the only original member by this point. And yeah, it's keyboards and some horns and bass and drums, and that's kind of what Soft Machine was from, you know, over the course of 7 albums. No guitar. Of course, they switched labels, and on their 8th album, Bundles, they went all out and got Alan Holdsworth on guitar, but that's a different story. Question number 42. Question number 42. Record with the most organ. And all the way going back to my first video where I'm doing the jazz tag, I talk about how my intro to jazz was organ jazz. Jack McDuff on the organ. This is Rock Candy, and this has the most organ because it's a double. It's a 2-record set, and it's got a lot of tracks from his classic prestige albums, like the Honey Dripper, Jive Samba, Opus Defunct, Screamin'. So yeah, one of these days I'm gonna get organized. Yeah. All right. Question number 43. 80s rock ballad. Every rose has its thorn. Poison, open up and say, ah. And I also wanted to show this because this is the original cover, because they actually changed the album cover because some kid poked his eye out. Question 44, best blind buy. All right, I've showed this record before, at least once, and I'm going to show it again because it is a blind buy that I was very impressed with last year, and this is the band Pungent. And it's kind of funky jazz with really catchy bass lines and some nice alto sax playing and some, you know, kind of tricky time signatures. Check them out. They're on Bandcamp. All right. Question 45. A record that is slow like a turtle. Earth, Thrones and Dominions. All right. A record you want to like, but you're still not sure. Yeah, I got this at a swap a while back, the David. It's kind of a psychedelic pop album. And I try. Every now and then I pull this record out and I kind of try. But nothing hits me. Nothing hits me. I mean, maybe in the future. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good, but it's not as good as the Millennium. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people love this record, and I try, and I want to love it, but it's okay. Best guilty pleasure record. Okay. The Cowsills. The original singing family that the Partridge Family ripped off. The Cowsills. We Can Fly. In one of them spinning things. Remember those? We used to break our heads on those and the metal slides and all that stuff, you know? I mean, that's kind of been the meme of like, yeah, our generation, man, we were kings. My dad got this for me when I was a kid. It's got the song What Is Happy. That was the B-side to the Hair 45. It's just got some really well-written and kind of epic pop numbers. Blah, blah, blah. Question 48. Hidden Funk. All right, this is God Save the Queen by Robert Fripp. And it's some very hypnotic Frippertronic loop stuff. And this was, I think, his first album of just Frippertronics. But it's two albums, because the first side is God Save the Queen. The second side is Under Heavy Manners, which is more kind of funky along the lines of his League of Gentlemen record, except that it's just a couple of long tracks. And so the funk is hidden on the second side. Also, David Byrne does some vocals under an assumed name on the title track. So yeah. Question 49. Jazz no one knows but slaps. Okay, I talked about this record in my first video also. This is Herculaneum. I think they're from Chicago. Came out in 2010. I'm going to show again, it's on some nice green, puke green vinyl here. And so it's bass, drums, and big horn section, 4 horns. Again, crazy time signatures and some good playing. And again, it's a band not too many people know about. They're on Spotify, so give them a listen. But yeah, this is a great record. Olives and Orchids by Herculaneum. Question 50. Barry White saved my life. Love Unlimited, who are Barry White's backup singers. Their album kicks off with Love's Theme. And yeah. You know, there's the other Love Unlimited Orchestra record has Love's Theme at the end of a side, but this one has Love's Theme at the beginning of a side. So perfect for DJs. The 90s. Okay, so a record that takes you back to the 90s. And for me, Portishead Dummy. If I want oddly specific memories of the 90s, this is one of the records I put on. I mean, now there's a lot of stuff that sounds like this, but at the time, it was kind of unique. Trip hop. Question 52. A record, a concert, and memorabilia. Okay, so this is the Frank Zappa Shut Up and Play Your Guitar box set. He made 3 Shut Up and Play Your Guitar albums, and then he put the 3 together in a box set. And basically it was excerpted guitar solos from various live performances. One of the shows that some of these jams came from was in Berkeley in 1980. And very young Steve went to that. This is the program from the Zappa Fall Tour 80. Has lyrics and pictures. Bunch of songs that ended up on later albums like Tinseltown Rebellion. There's the 3 records. Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar Some More, and Return of the Son of Shut Up and Play Your Guitar.
911 is not a working number for your area. For emergencies, hang up a moment and dial your operator.
Satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
The amazing record vacuum by Ronco, the new stereo accessory that protects all your records. Simply insert your record into the record vacuum, turn it on, and your record rotates automatically, sweeping and vacuuming your records instantly, loosening deep damaging microdust particles, 33 1/3, 45, 78. Any size fits. It makes a great Christmas gift, and it's only $10.88.
At Cunningham's and Woolworth Woco, plus Arnold's, Ward's, and other fine stores.
Is talking on the phone getting out of hand? Look out! You need phone relief, the amazing new hands-free phone sensation that's sweeping the nation. Is that phone in the neck giving you a giant pain in the neck? Then you need phone relief. Watch. Simply attach the special double back fastener to any phone. Then attach the phone relief headset. It's that easy.
True and terrifying story of Lauren Elder.
Hang on. You're going to feel a big jolt as we clear the crest. Hang on!
And I Alone Survived, Monday at 9, each Central and Mountain, right after Little House on the Prairie.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
Okay then. Well, as you see, I'm wearing a different hat, which means now I am filming part 2. And in the interim, I don't remember where my other hat went. So I'm wearing this hat. Hi. Okay, so like I said before, I'm just going to try to tear through these Dots and Loops 101 questions, because I never finish what I start, you know, and it's just going to be a good look. So this second half of this video is going to be questions 53 through 69 of the 101 questions. All right, a record that flopped is question 53. And record that flopped, The Clash, Cut the Crap. Todd and the Shadows did an entire video about this record and why it failed. So I don't really need to get into it, but that's my flop record for question 53. 54, independent record. This is Olivia Tremor Control's Dusk at Cuba's Castle. See the green typewriter? If you know, you know. And like Portishead that I talked about in part 1, this is a record that just represents the feeling of my experience in the 1990s. Okay, and it's independent. It's on the Elephant 6 Recording Company. A soul classic. All right. This is Sly and the Family Stone's greatest hits. And this is the quadraphonic pressing. Quadraphonic was a format where you could get separation of 4 channels and you put 4 speakers in each corner of the room. But the first of all, the Columbia SQ quadraphonic format was playable on a regular record player, so you're not going to ruin these records. And you always get a different mix. And this is no exception. There are some different mixes on this quadraphonic Sly. For instance, a longer version of Thank You for Letting Me Be Yourself. Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself again. And Hot Fun in the Summertime, remixed for stereo, where usually it's the mono with a fake stereo on it. So yeah, and it's a soul classic. The 50s. I could have gone a lot of different directions as far as the 50s is concerned. The Platters, encore of golden hits. My parents had a lot of these songs on 78s. Classic vocal group. You might know the song My Prayer from the infamous nuclear bomb episode of Twin Peaks, 3rd season, a few years back. But here's the interesting thing about this record. About this copy of this record anyway, is that 99 times out of 100, you see this record and it's an original copy and it's totally destroyed. And I happen to stumble on what appears to be an early 80s reissue with this label. How many times have I seen original copies of this in various states of playability? Many. How many times have I seen this particular issue? Once. So I don't know. I'm just weird. I'm not always about finding the OG. You know. Question 57. Glam Me. All right. I don't know. Do these guys count as glam rock? The Stories. This is their second album, Stories About Us, from 1973. And to a lot of people, they are a one-hit wonder. The song Brother Louie was their big hit. And it was weird because it was a song that they didn't even write. It was a cover. They threw it on the record at the last minute. See, this is a promo copy that ends with the song What Comes After and doesn't have Brother Louie. But they had a brilliant songwriter in the band. I mean, for the first 2 of their 3 albums, Michael Brown, who was in the Left Bank. And none of their original songs was as huge of a hit as their cover of Brother Louie. Maybe they were just too good. But yeah, check this band out. Okay, question 58 makes no sense. It says Pitbull, a worldwide album. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. The only words that made any sense were worldwide album. And this is Elvis Aloha from Hawaii via satellite from the 70s. This was a concert that was broadcast all over the world by satellite from Hawaii in 1973. And this is my dad's record. This was his actual copy that I still have. Comes out like that. And there was a weird anomaly with these albums, is that it's quad. I don't know if there was supposed to be a designated quad pressing, but pretty much all of these that I've ever seen have been quad. Smoke on the Water, a played out record. Okay, well. Welcome to the Hotel California. Hotel California by the Eagles. You know, it was hip to hate on this record for a long time. But it's kind of gotten reevaluated, gotten more love recently with younger generations that didn't have to hear it every goddamn time they turned on the radio. One time I was in a restaurant and they had like a light and easy music station playing, and they played a version of Hotel California with the guitar solo at the end removed. And for more thoughts on that, let me refer you to the late great comedian Bill Hicks and his routine about watching adult movies with the actual doing it removed in his hotel room. Hotel. Question 60. Sinatra, the Chairman. All right, this is another one of my dad's records. Sinatra, a man and his music. And I don't know that much about this record, but I think it was also tied in with a TV special. And it's a double album, going through his hits, going through his hit songs, but it's like a Frank Sinatra guest DJ set because he talks about the songs in between. He does like little narration about his career, and the songs kind of weave in and out of it. So it's like a TV special for your ears. Question 61. Lost British Invasion. And this is where you're going to expect me to dig out something kind of cool and garagey like the Beat Merchants or the Liverpool Five. But no, Freddie and the Dreamers. Dance the Freddie. Yeah. Get kinky. All right. Kind of Kinks. It's like their second album in the UK, their third album in the US because of the reshuffling of British albums. So we get fewer songs. I kind of obsessed over the Kinks when I was in high school, and I was trying to find all the Steamboat Willie reprise label Kinks records that I could. And this is the one that's in the worst condition of all the ones I found. I found it in a thrift store. And this, I don't know if everybody's going to be happy and set me free, really count as hits. But this has the song, Nothing in This World Will Stop Me Worrying About That Girl, which was in Wes Anderson's film Rushmore. Lady Rockers. The Runaways, Queens of Noise. This doesn't have Cherry Bomb on it. This is like the second album. The Queens of Noise. A Risk, a band that changed directions. Okay, now this is a record that has kind of faded to obscurity, but I always really liked this band. It's called the Telescopes, and most of their stuff is pretty standard Brit rock, Brit pop kind of stuff in the style of like Ride. But this album, they got a little more electronic, a little more experimental, and it's awesome. All right. Question 65. progressive symphonic pleasure. Okay, I'm going to go with an actual classical record because I've heard a lot of rock bands from Andromeda to Frank Zappa to maybe even Yes. Borrow from this. This is The Planets by Holst. This is the Boston Symphony Orchestra recording on Deutsche Grammophon. Something I kind of learned about myself when looking for classical records that I want is usually it's the first one, the first version of a piece that I hear is the one that I kind of default to. And that's the one I want to have the record of. But anyway, yeah, nice reflecto cover. It's even shiny on the back. Electronic Dreams. Well, that would be Tangerine Dreams. This is Tangerine Dream Phaedra. This is a really spacey and trippy one. This is again a later issue of it, no gatefold, but a nice pressing. We're doing questions 67 and 68. Question 67, Beatles and why? Rubber Soul. But not just any Rubber Soul. This is a mono. This is an OG mono copy of the American version of Rubber Soul. And it's got that different track listing where it starts with I've Just Seen a Face. And It's Only Love starts off the second side. And, you know, the consensus since the Beatles catalog was canonized in 1987 to the original English versions of the albums, it's pretty much considered common knowledge that the American Beatle albums are inferior to the UK albums, and that's not always the case for more reasons than I really want to get into right now. But this version of Rubber Soul was what inspired Brian Wilson, for better or worse, to give us the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. And, you know, removing Drive My Car and replacing it with I've Just Seen a Face, which was buried on the second side of Help in the UK. And how is that guitar lick at the beginning not an opener for an album? It's just perfect. It resonates with me, and it resonated with a lot of people. Rockabilly Meltdown. That's question 68. All right. I'm going to dig this out. This is Sun's Greatest Hits, Sun Records compilation. And it's a picture disc. How cool is that? And it's got some pretty essential tracks. The Jerry Lee Lewis, Whole Lot of Shakin', Blue Suede Shoes, Mystery Train, Ooby Dooby by Roy Orbison. Yeah. And finally, question 69, which will pretty much wrap up this episode here. Heavy record. Heavy as in heavy wax. So not necessarily heavy music, but the actual plastic and cardboard are heavy. Okay, so Shadow Music of Thailand on Sublime Frequencies. Heavy cardboard. you know this label, they do a lot of really cool reissues of obscure international stuff. Well worth investigating if you're not familiar. But yeah, even make the label kind of look like the International Artists logo, because it is International Artists. But yeah, thick, heavy vinyl. Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you got this far, then good for you. And like and subscribe. And if you're new here, go watch some of my older videos, because you know the numbers really fluctuate. I don't know if I'm going to get 400 views or 4 views, you know. But yeah, if you're down, you know, if what I have to say is relevant to your interests, you know, you can subscribe, watch some of my other videos, give this one a like if you want to get back to it, you know. Comments. I love seeing comments. I love, you know, just getting a conversation going. So, you know, say hi in the comments. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.